Okay, welcome back to another episode of Shapez 1.0. I do want to apologize for the last episode because the levels on my microphone were really jacked up, and I recorded both those levels at the same time, like the same day. So those last two episodes, I feel like there was a lot of clipping in the audio, and hopefully I got it fixed now. I reset my settings in my software, so hopefully it sounds better and clearer. Now, for last time when we were playing this game, what did we do? We did this, right? We got these fun little guys, these half squares pinned and then stacked on top of these like horns that we created for it. And I think for the next section that we gotta do, we gotta stack the green guys that we made already, and then we gotta stack them. I mean, it's not really stack, right? It's kind of just like combining them together, but we are gonna use a stacker for it. And we have that over there at that factory that we've created. Now, in this episode, I feel like I'm just going to make that factory go. We're going to let that run, and then I'm going to optimize the blueprints that I have because some of them are a little bit SpaghettiOs, and I want to fix like some of that. So let me find out where that factory was, and we'll get those guys trucking along. I think it was over here, right? Yes, blue-green badge factory. Wonderful. So this, we have... I think these are our green guys, right? And then they're trucking along here to this. Wait, what's happening here? These guys are getting trucked into this thing. Now, as you can see here, we have like... This one's all nice and full, and then this one is not nice and full. And then this one is also not nice and full. This one's like halfway. This one's got one poking out. Now, I think the reason for that is because you can see like the material is coming onto this line, and then it's going like splitting 50-50. So it's splitting here, going into like half of the material is going into this bay, half of it's going here, and then it's splitting again. So it's like, you know, half here and then half here and then half here and here. So at the end of the line, this guy here is getting like a quarter of the material at the same rate that this guy is getting 3/4 of the or at least a quarter of the material. It's going slow and unevenly. I don't quite like that. So I think what we can do is just do one of these types of splitters, right? Where we, oh man, maybe we can like split it here and then here. So now it'll go 50% here, 50% there, and then it'll split another 50%, 50%. So it'll probably, hopefully even itself out. We can do the same treatment here. So something like this, right? Is that how that works? Dude, I don't know. If I did that wrong, someone will yell at me. So we have this train, right? And it's giving us like 8 cargo bays full of this material. And they can all go into one lane and then into another lane. So 2 lanes total that this has. And if we check our factory down here, we have the same thing where we have 1 full lane going and then 1 full lane going into 8 total cargo bays. So if I just move the train station deposit to like here, because remember, I wanted to keep this factory sort of localized in this area. I don't want to do any production here. I want to keep the production of this shape in this area and then truck the final shape along that line, right? And then this will be the final destination, so to speak. Just like the movies, only we're not going to crash this train. So what we can do then is create unloading bay here, right? Unloading bay would be this. Get this going, and we can put it like right here. Cut that off so we just like go straight back, and then we'll have another loading bay. That guy just died. Oh, okay, no, he's fine. And then we'll have this loading bay with a train on it. Oops, pushing the wrong button here. There we go. I have this one like here, and this one will be like the finalized shape line that goes all the way down, right? For now, it'll just keep going back and forth, doing fun loops. Okay, so now we basically just want to create this factory again, right? But minus the coloring situation. We don't need to color these shapes any longer. We just need to stack them on top of one another. And since we know that they're like in the same hemisphere, if we look at, let's get another, they're uneven. I hate when I do this. That's in line, right? So here we go. There we go. So now we know that we have like the left hemisphere here, and we have the, yes, perfect, the right hemisphere here. So that's exactly what we want. And then we'll just take these shapes. I know I could have done this last time, but it was getting late when I recorded, so I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time doing it. So if we just take this and plop it right here, this should be good times all around, right? Let's see our inputs. The inputs of this is going to go here, and then it'll feed into our stacking machines. And if I remember correctly, the left side of this is going to be the bottom, and the right side of this is going to be the top. Let me see here. I'm just going to put a label here. That way I know once we get this thing back, we'll know which one's which. So this one, bottom input, top input. So these guys are going on top, right? Like this guy. Oh wait, or did I do that wrong? No, it looks like this guy's going on top, right? Because if you follow this line on the bottom, this one goes up a layer. Dang it. Top input. Okay. Bottom input. Okay. Because then this one's like sinking one layer, and then it's like sinking another layer and going over there. It's pretty good. So let's see, we'll save this as like a 3-lane changer. Did I have that saved already? I guess not. I had this one. This is the old one, right? I'll need to make a lane changer folder, and then I'll put these guys both in there, and there. So as you can see, I've like reorganized my my blueprints, and I was going through them, and I kind of wanted to make them look a little bit nicer. So now we have, well, we'll get to that in a second. Let me just drop these lane changers down. So the inputs and the outputs. Whoops. Go here, 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 here. Okay, so then we can go, I just take this and then go like here to hit that one. It's probably fine, right? And then our deposits are going to go out this way. So let's move these lines, go here. And then we'll do something like this and something like this. Okay. We'll bring these lines all the way over to here, I think. And then we'll bring these lines all the way over to here. That should give us the shape on the bottom layer. And then the top layer, what I want to do is probably just create a lane that's like maybe underneath that one. We take this one and bring it over there. And then we can take this one. Well, I almost want it to be like this though, right? And then these guys can actually just find their way over here. So now we have 2 full lines of the shape that we need, and we can send those guys all out. We'll send them all to here, something like that, and then something like that. Okay. So now once those are all operational and they have their full loads, they can... What's going on with you? Oh, you're just filling up. What's going on with you? What the heck was that, dude? So some of these like stacker spaghettios, I was experimenting with some designs in my practice run, and I spent like several hours trying to get stackers on one 1x1 platform, and I gotta say, it is freaking hard, dude. It takes forever. And I don't have a finalized design yet. I have like some test blueprints that are like not operational. In one of the episodes, I'll probably optimize a design that fits on like a 1x2. Like if you can imagine like inputs going here, and then an output going here, and then we had like top layer here for the stackers, and then bottom layer here for the stackers, and then they just stack up and then deposit your shape on the 3 lanes. Because the footprint of this design, it is kind of nice because we have like we utilize different lanes and we change them. But it takes up so much space, right? It takes up like all like this whole area. If we can condense this into this, that would be beautiful. It's kind of like how we had that, if I had this old, like this 2-lane painter, I think it was. Yeah, like this guy. Look at how crazy and spaghetti this is, man. Because we changed all kinds of stuff, and then we switched it to being this. which is like so much more. It's so much more compact and you know, dense. But this one we didn't have the third machine level, so it makes sense that we kind of had to do some finagling. But I do want to optimize more of the stacking and production of these shapes. So these guys are going. Just want to make sure that the train here is operational, which it should be, right? Where is the train? Oh, he's waiting for material. He's waiting for the goods. Yeah, so we can zoom in here and we can see that this guy can hold like 6 full bins of cargo in his is this a caboose? I always forget what these things are called. I think we'll just get like the upgrades. I feel like I don't need any of these. If anything, I'm just going to use like modular 1x1s and 1x2s. I don't really need a big gigantic workspace, right? And wires are intimidating, so I'm going to save that for later. Now we can just upgrade some of this stuff. It's 10 grand. I feel like I don't need more. There's so many platforms, dude. Jesus. Okay. Now let me go. We can go over here and test by just destroying one of the lines, right? Wait, is this how it's supposed to be? Wouldn't I want to shoot these into like 4 separate ones? Dude, this is crazy. Look at this milestone. We need 275,000 of this shape. What the heck? That's so many. Oh, it's level 20. That's why. And we're producing so much of it. We're not even using like full lanes here. And this whole thing is like useless now. What the? Why are we're not even producing you anymore? We're just gonna delete this. Now, do we want to continue producing these items, do you think? I mean, we might as well keep shoving the legacy items in there just because we have them. But, oh dude, look at that. Love to see it, right? I guess we can like shove this one over here and make it a little bit faster on the setup. Let me just break everything real quick. Like this. And they should all get deposited more evenly distributed through these bays. Okay, another thing that I was noticing in my practice run was like we have these guys going, you know, like way down the line, like so, these conveyor belts, and we can utilize the crap out of these jumpers. So what I mean by that is like if we look at some random objects, I guess these, if we take this, right, and do something like that, we're only utilizing 2 lanes, but that's fine, we're only going to be using 1. So if we take this and shove it all the way through, like so, right? And then if we take the jump pad and then go to the maximum distance it can go, which is like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 distance jump. And then we just keep doing that until it gets to the end. So in theory, the jumpers go like faster than the regular conveyor belt lane, right? That's kind of what I've been noticing about these guys. That's why I wanted, on this episode, we're probably just going to go and redesign some of our blueprints to be more optimized with these jump pads. And if we look at, what are you doing, bro? I just want to, if we take 2 inputs and then we plug these up, the theory is that the one on the bottom, this one that's utilizing all jumps all the way across to this platform, will go way faster than the one that is utilizing just the conveyor belt, right? So let's see that. See it in action. As we can see here, they're hopping all along like frogs, playing Frogger. And now we can see that they're like leaping lizards all the way into the belt, while these guys are like barely halfway across, right? So that's cool. Now, to utilize this in this instance, right, it's kind of a small difference. The idea is that it's going to help the initial setup of larger scale factories when you create modular 1x1 platforms. So if you imagined a bunch of 1x1s, did I just break something? Okay. If you imagine like a bunch of 1x1s, right, if you need to like rotate and then you needed to cut and then you need to like rotate again for some reason or whatever, and then you utilize the full lanes with conveyor belts, it'll be kind of slow getting that factory online as it goes through all of this production. However, if you swap everything to just using a whole bunch of leapers, then you can get the new factory that you're creating online much quicker, right? Once they actually touch like the finish line together, like once these guys, the leaping lizards, hit the finish line and then the conveyor belts catch up to them at the finish line, once they go to like the actual end, it'll be they'll be similarly timed, so it won't really matter. But the idea is that when you first put the factory up, or when you put new material in, it'll be quicker. So let's just do that. I'm gonna do that here on all of these lines, and then hopefully all of our guys will just be hopping along into the vortex, which will be faster for our inputs. Here, here, here. Bam, bam, bam. Wonderful. There, there, there. And then we only need conveyors on the corners like so. But even that, I think we can get like another jumper like here, right? Something like that. Which looks really silly, right? But I do like watching these guys hop around like frogs. That's always good times. Yeah, that's probably fine. Grab this, do some rotating. All right. Now, as you can see, I just created this fun parkour playground for all of these shapes. But when they are hitting, like if our belt is backed up for whatever reason, and then they have to reinitialize onto that belt, like for example, if we like decide to move this one over here, then the setup of getting the shape to the vortex is like way faster. And when you do this across all of your modular factories on your small platforms, it will create increasing returns, right? The opposite of diminishing returns. So the idea is that over a large scale, you're gonna have a faster output on your lines, right? Or throughput, maybe. That looks so funny, dude. Just a whole bunch of ramp action, dude. Look at that. Love to see it. Okay, and while we were playing around with this, we have our new milestone completed. So let's unlock this. And we have a color mixer. Interesting. And we have... It looks like we can combine 2 pipes to be one color and then output. This will be fun to try to play around with. Fluid volume. So we can create green, pink, and I think this is cyan, right? That sounds good to me. We'll play around with that a little bit later on. That looks cool. For now, I think I'm going to get a bunch of milestones done. Now I wanted to look at our blueprints, and then I'm just going to create... So in our blueprints menu right now, I think we have like miners. Processing was the new one that I wanted. That's just going to be like rotating and cutting and everything. And then we have our stackers, which is all of these guys, right? And then we have a painter, which is this guy. And then we have our lane changers. I want to go through these. I've already optimized the miner, so as we can see, there's no longer like the one lane and there's no longer like just like the one bottom lane, and I condensed them into one big thing. I do want to change the icon of those though, so let's do that real quick. I'm just gonna have like the mining thing, because I keep getting confused on what I'm looking at with that guy. There we go. With the boosters. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the same with this, because I keep getting confused with this guy too. God, I hate that they put the fluid miner like way up here, and then they put the booster way down here. What the heck? Why don't you put them right next to each other? It'd be so much easier to look at. Jeez. Okay, so the miners are good. These are our legacy ones that we've had. We aren't going to utilize anymore. These are my testing ones. So the separator can go into the processors. So we're going to look at each like tool and then make some adjustments to the blueprints. So we have rotators, and I would like to get rotator conveyors or rotator things set up. So if we look at, are we using this shape? Let's find something that we're not using, and then we can just have like a little test area, like an irregular shape. That way we can see what we have in store, like this guy here. Okay. So now we want to, let's say that we wanted to rotate this thing. We built a platform. I think I have a 180 rotator already, right? Processors, 180 rotator. So we have this. So this one rotates it 180 degrees. We want to do the same thing, but we want to rotate. I want to have one that rotates it like 90 degrees clockwise and one that rotates it 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. So I've built a better trash system as well. So as you can see here, this one has inputs on all sides. This is just because I didn't want to rotate this thing every time I used it. Just out of sheer laziness, you know. But we have like the full belt action going here, so we can actually see if we're fully utilizing our throughputs of our factories. So with that said, and you can see I utilize the jumping mechanism here, so just getting this factory online is going to be a little bit faster. Reduce all of this, and then I want to get the rotators. These are the clockwise ones. Oops. So this is our 90-degree clockwise rotator. I'll put labels on these as well, so that way I know what the heck I did if I come back to this later on. That is clockwise, right? Looks like it. Clockwise. That's pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing with our counterclockwise, reverse rotators. Sorry if this is going to be a little bit boring. I just wanted to optimize this, that way we have these for later, you know? When we go set up a new factory, it'll just be like slap these guys down and we're good to go. These are counterclockwise. Yep. I wonder why they have like this rotating symbol, and then they have this exact same rotating symbol right here. It seems kind of like wasted space, right? Why would you put that icon twice? It's so confusing. Unless one of them is like ever so slightly, barely different. There's like 1 pixel off on this one maybe. I have no idea. Okay, so we got those guys done. Let's move them into our processing area. And then I'm going to change the label of this. Yeah, 180 rotates fine. This one's going to be the full colored one. Okay, so that's processing for the rotators. For the cutters, let's get that going. For the cutters, we're going to need, this thing can hold 3, so we're going to have to adjust these lanes a little bit. So now that we've got all of our cutters stacked up on top of each other, we can rename this. Let's see. What do I want to name this? Just cutter? Or half destroyer maybe? These things always destroy, it says that they always destroy the west half of the shape. How do we know which one's the west half, right? What if I rotate this? Well, I guess I can't. If I put it... Wait a second. What if I did rotate that, though? Imagine if it was there. This one's ending up with, like, a square and a little thing. This one's ending up with a square and a little thing. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Just, I'm, like, confused how it knows the orientation of the shape. But I guess that's fine if it's working. And what is the symbol for that one? It's like a X through the half guy. Okay, so now we have, next up, we have a cutter. Now, I think we already had the cutter, didn't we? That was like the separator machine that we made? Yeah, so we can just save this one, I think, as the separator. I guess you could save this as like a cutter. That one in old, put this one in the new area. Okay, that's the one that has the label on it. Perfect. And then what is the symbol for that again? It's like a pair of scissors with a line. Okay. Donk, 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 donk. Okay, save. And then our pin pusher was pretty easy because it was similar to what we had over here, right? The destroyers. We'll take this and then make sure that we test it just to be sure that it actually works. It looks like it's working. Got all of our pins getting pushed. These ones can hold, yeah, 3 per, so that's fine. Save this one now. Pin pusher was that one icon. Yeah, this guy. Oh, and I forgot the swappers as well. So I guess we could do that right now. The swappers is like 2... Oh, geez. This one will probably have to build on another, like, 1 by 2, right? Because it's kind of similar to the cutter. Ah, man, that looks intimidating. Okay. Now this one we're going to have to actually build because I don't have a good one for this yet. So imagine if that we had... Swaps the 2 west halves. This one could take 4 each. How would we do that, actually? Now that I'm thinking about it. You would need to have, like, 4 here. So we need to have, like, inputs going into this one, right? This is going to be kind of similar to that last one that we made, but it's going to be a little bit more tangled up because there's going to be so many inputs, I think. Let me look at that previous one that we created. It goes all the way over, and then it goes into, like, these inputs. Now, utilizing the power of those leap and loafers, right, we can probably do some finagling around, I think. We have, like, belt catchers, and then those guys. Right? I'm trying to imagine, like, if you had 4 going in through the jumper, and then 4 going in through just a regular line. We're gonna have to do a little bit of finagling here, right? Like if you imagine this one's gonna go straight into this one, that'll be fine. Like so. And then what would it look like on the return trip? These are gonna be the same shape. Maybe I can rotate this one so that way we can get an understanding of like what we're trying to accomplish here. This is the beauty of having, you know, random rotators. Why is it giving me all kinds of craziness? Whoops. This is giving me all kinds of craziness. What the heck? Don't we just want like one shape? Oh, it's because I was snagged on those guys. Look at this craziness, dude. What the heck? It makes sense now because now we have the same shape is coming out of the right side as the left side. Okay, wonderful. So we probably need to move this thing up like a little bit. Just do that now. Move it to like here. That way we have a little bit of room for our belts on the front and back end of this thing. I'm imagining that we're probably gonna have to like shoot them outward as well. So like probably here, keep it so that way the ones on this side go under the launchers, I think. Oh man, this is actually going to be way more complicated. I feel like every time that I play this game, it's like, oh yeah, I can just do this one thing, and then it ends up being like the most insane spaghetti nonsense that I have to figure out. And I would like to keep, the idea is that I want to keep everything on like one level, because these things are all stackable, right? Like if you take all of this and then copy it, you can stack it directly on top of each other. This is one of those like very stackable factories if we keep it all on one floor. I'd rather not use elevators if I don't have to. Okay, so if we do that, something like this, this is ending up as like the most spaghettiest thing, man. I don't think that that's gonna work either. Look at this, what the hell? I'm like imagining a world where this makes sense eventually. As you can see, it's really, really crazy looking already. So these ones are all my inputs for like this side, right? So maybe we do something like this. I think that this whole section right here is nuts because they like crisscross over each other. Like, is that seriously necessary? What is this guy doing, dude? I guess it's kind of necessary, right? Because then we have these guys going in there. But then we're gonna need like catchers like here, I think. Right, but we have to get the catchers in there before the turn. Oh, interesting. So this one is a little problematic, maybe? Because it wants a catcher to be like here, I think. I'm gonna need to cut that. I need to get the launcher here. What we can do is send this guy and probably just throw him over this. Okay. This would be so much easier if these ones were like a different color, right? Like if I could see, because they look so similar now. It's like confusing the heck out of me. These ones are all going to be the outputs. That one makes sense. That one's easy. This one might have to change because we need to connect that line. And then this one can maybe go here. Okay, this is a whole tangled mess. I'm imagining a world where this jumper can come in through here, and then this line can go down one. And instead of doing that, we can move this whole section down one. Well, in the ideal world, what we would want to do is probably just use jumpers to jump the lanes across one another, right? So like here, we can like jump it here a whole bunch of times. That way we can free up this whole lane. Because I want to move this down as well. We would need like a catcher. Imagining this, we would need a catcher for this one. And a catcher for that one. What if we can just keep like launching them over one another? Like this. Every two. That one's gonna be a problem though. Where is this one going now? You need to be going to this one, don't you? That one's going to that one. And this one's going to this one. Okay, they can leapfrog over that way, that's fine. My idea is that I just want to like save the space because I'm gonna need like conveyor belts here as well. So now that I have that, I can go move this whole part of the factory down a little bit, right? We don't need that one. We can just go here, create a jumper here, and then we can bring that one up there. This one can go here, I think. And then the idea is to move this one down slightly as well. Just about does it, right? Now how are we going to get all these guys out, though, is the question. So if we would need to, like, combine these guys into one. This is a problem here on this side of the whole thing. But I think I can solve that by moving the whole factory, like, over by a smidgen. Let me save this real quick. Copy that and paste it there. That way I don't mess it up. And I reorganize this. So if we squeeze this right against the wall, it should be good. So this section of the factory needs to include that and this. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to have to redo these ramps that I just created. Oops. Okay, so I think this is fine, the movement. Now we need to move this one over and like down a little bit. I can only move it over. The belt is kind of in the way. Let's see. I can optimize this here, and then I can move this ramp to here. Instead of having a ramp here, I can have the lane go straight through. And then we can take this finally and move it down. Now we have a little bit of area that we can work with here. This is our output for the ramped ones. This one can actually just be a straight shot here. What was the point of that? Why did I do that? This one here is the output that we need on this side of the factory. Okay, so I'm trying to think here. We can bring this one in here. and then we can ramp over this, I think. And then this one can go straight into that. But then we're gonna have an issue getting the next 2 lanes in. So one of them has to come in like this, right? And then the other one has to come in probably like here to here. And then for these guys, one's gonna have to go in there, and there, and there. Is there a minimum way that we can utilize the jumpers? The jumpers have to be like one away from each other, it looks like. So like that, right? My concern is here, where the output needs to be. And here on the other side as well, where the output needs to be. Oh, but then I have this one still. Okay, the new idea is to... Okay, so we'll just restart here. Because I got really confused on the last one. We have inputs here, like so. We want the swappers to go. Maybe instead of putting them all in an array like I had. This is so confusing. Start in the middle. 4, 4. I'll try to make it like symmetrical. Now we're gonna need... The way that I think that we have to condense this is to like have, you know, the receiving end like so, right? Has to be like so. Let's imagine that the shape on the right is gonna go on the right side of every swapper, and the shape on the left is gonna go on the left side of every swapper. So something like this maybe. Now, I'm gonna imagine like if this lane wants to be on these ones, the most optimal way of doing that would be, let's take these, copy them over here. Or do we want to have like half of it here and then mirror the other half? I don't know. I just don't know. What if we have like... So the jumpers can jump like 2 lanes, right? So if you imagine like this. So what if we had something like this? We had an extra lane in the middle of these. Because I feel like I was getting tangled up on like some other crazy nonsense. And these ones would all probably need to get fed. Might need to move this up a little bit because we're already running out of space. I'd like to have the outputs as well have space. So let's imagine that the outputs will ramp off of the right side, and then they won't ramp off of the left side. I think that's how we'll do it. We are going to need outputs there. Now, this is like way harder than I thought it was going to be. This is so confusing. I might have to like come back to this tomorrow or something. I'm trying to think of like how some of this material would go. These guys are all going on the right side, right? This guy goes sideways. It might be smart to make them go like this to distribute, right? But then this guy's like, where would this guy even go then? He would have to go like all the way around to here. And then how would these guys feed in? Because they would need to feed from this side. No, it's gonna have to be something like that on the ends, right? Let's keep this in mind so that we don't spaghetti it. And maybe it'll be something like this on this side too. Being able to route him like through, but then he would end up in the back, which I don't know. We do have this extra lane here now. Why would that be there? Imagining a scenario where we can utilize this lane to like send material somewhere and then maybe have the same thing happening on the back end, maybe. So like push this down a little bit, something like this, because we want this guy to reach these ramps, I think. And then this guy will probably just go over here and reach those ramps as well. Let's get to the halfway point. Or maybe these guys can go in on the ramps on their end. And then these guys can come in and slide in on these rails, right? So if you can imagine like a situation where these guys are still going to be on the left side. So like here. And then these guys are going to be able to get into these segments, I think. Is how I want to do it. And these guys might be able to just come... Oh wait, but we wanted that like extra lane in the center, right? So like this maybe? Like jump over this. It's kind of a similar setup to here. We would need the input to be like right here, right? I'm just trying to think of how we can do that. And then these guys can go here to feed their machines. And then if we had a jumper on this side, so what about a jump like right here? Basically to where this one meets. We're gonna have to swap this material by the sides. I'm just trying to condense like the laneage that we need without going up a level. And here we can see, are we gonna want like, we're gonna want this material on this side. I'm actually gonna change this to be a 180 rotator just so I can have a little bit better clarity of where the things are gonna be, of what the objects are gonna look like when they're done, you know? Maybe we can go with a jumper here to here, and then with a jumper here to here. Okay, now we have these objects on the right and these ones on the left. Okay. This makes a little bit more sense to me visually, because now we have like, there's a little bit of green in this one, and this one's just all gray. Now I want this one to go into that line, right? Or do I want this one to go into that line? Because this one can probably just jump straight over there, or it could jump straight over here. And then this one, we're gonna have to, let's see, think about this for a second. We're gonna have to swap these two areas as well, right? So he's gonna have to jump here, and that one's gonna have to jump there. This one, since it's coming from the right side, it wants to end up on the right side of the... Or this one's coming, sorry, this one's coming from the left side, so it wants to end up on the left side of the platform. Confused the crap out of myself right there. This one wants to end up on that side of the platform. Okay. And now... Okay, I think we... Wait, did we do it? What's happening here? Well, this object needs to go into this input. We can do a sweet jump like that. And the same thing needs to happen to here. The crazy thing about the jumpers is that they don't, like, impede each other when they're in the air. Like, right? Jeez. Okay, now I'm wondering if I have to mirror this as well, like we've just done. Just to keep the symmetry. As we can see, we want... I think we want to have our green shapes going this way, and our gray shapes going this way. I'm trying to think of like how that would look, because these sides here are the left side, and these sides here are the right side. Well, we would need to get them out of there anyway, right? Because they have ramps. If we take these guys now and just bring them in like this, then we have this problem. This one doesn't need to end up there though. This one can end up here and then jump over and across. Then he would jump over this way. These ones can go here, and these ones can go here, and then we can take another one and land it this way instead of having to do whatever we were just trying to do. And then if we can bring, now we can pipe in this lane. This one can go this way and get fed there. Maybe I should just make this one a little bit closer so that way it's not as confusing, because then I'll know which one's where he goes. And this one can go, he's gonna go that way across. Let's get it in the middle. And then if we take this, I might need to take all of this actually. Jeez, this took so long. This took like 1,000 years. What are we doing here still? We need to have these green ones come into these lanes here. And then we need to have the gray ones going into that lane there. This should be relatively simple, right? If I just put a couple launchers and catchers. So like if we went here to here, and then here to here, same thing here to here and here to here. This one can go into that one, this one into there. Does this work? That's what the question is. Does this work? Is there any hangups? This looks like it's actually doing it. So all of these shapes are dedicated specifically to the left hemisphere of the tool. These shapes are dedicated to the right hemisphere of the tool. And then this one is taking... I think this is working now that I'm looking at this. We have full lines, right? Coming off of the machines. This one looks like it's getting hung up a little bit, but I think that's just because it's just waiting for the next step to go. See, there's like... I think the easiest way to tell is by calculating how many machines there are. And then you can calculate the one going. There's 4 machines, so there should be like 4 objects going onto this line. So it's like 1, and then there's 3 that step between them. 1, and there's 3 that step between them. So that looks good to me. So I think we've done this thing, and it took me 1,000,000 years. Oh my god. This was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. We can just make it more fun and have like just a bunch of leaping lizards everywhere too, right? Now that we've actually done it, we can just do some of these just for fun. That one we can't do. This one we can do. Just to have a bunch of gappages all over the place for like no freaking reason other than just to look even more complicated when I come back to this machine and figure out how it works. This all looks good. I think this is gonna do it for this episode, just because it took me so long. I'm pretty sure the edit is going to be pretty quick, but man, this took me like 2 hours, dude, just to figure this out. And freaking had to restart because this ended up as a mess because everything was like asymmetrical and weird and trying to pipe in different lanes and lines and everything. Get rid of those ones. Yeah, so let's see our back end. These are all good, and these are all good. So if we take everything here, right? Copy that. And that's why I wanted to do that in one layer, because I wanted to just stack them all on top of each other. That way now we have whatever this is. We have this shape coming out 12 times on this side, and that shape coming out 12 times on that side. And I don't even know why I built this thing, because I feel like, how many times have I used the swapper, dude? What? Sometimes it's just like one of those things where I like want to do it just because it's like really confusing me. You know? Jeez, this was confusing. Holy smokes. This is the left side, right? Right side. That took me so long that I like leveled up all of my legacy items like 1,000 times during it, dude. What the oh my god. That was miserable. But if you guys actually watch this, then you guys now have whatever I just built here. Get me out of here. There we go. What is this thing called? It's like well, it's like 12 here and 12 here, right? And then 12 here and 12 here. 12 lane, 2x, swapper, 1x2. Do you think that there's a way to get this on a 1x1? Definitely not, right? Because you would need 2 inputs. You would have to have like 1 input coming in from the side. And then, like, imagine if you had a 1x1. You would need 1 input coming in here, and then 1 input coming in here, and then 1 output, and then the other output. And with all of this, dude, the problem with this tool is that it's not like the regular pipe, right? Because with the regular pipe, you could just, like, pipe in the pipe. Well, I guess that's kind of what we're doing here, right? But the pipe was so much easier because it had like, what did it have? It had like, yeah, the one pipe is like 1 lane that goes from this whole thing to like all the way across. And it supplies all these machines. Whereas this one, we can't have all the material going on 1 lane, otherwise it gets jammed up because the lanes don't run that fast, right? What's happening here? Look, you can see the item that's on the line. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, one of the viewers actually did mention this a couple episodes ago. They said that you can click on the lines and then see the speed of them. I wonder if you can do that with these. I guess you can't do it with those ones, but you can do it with the conveyor belts. That's nice. That's actually really convenient because then we can figure out if we're getting hang-ups anywhere. Just save this real quick so I don't forget it. What did I even name this as? 12 lane 2x swapper. It's like a double swapper, right? 1x2. And what is the icon for these machines? It's this one, hemisphere to hemisphere. Get these icons going here. I'm gonna rename this actually to something that makes more sense. It'll be swapper 12 lane. I guess it'll just be swapper 12 lane, right? Times 2. We know that it's not gonna be on a whatever. Okay, this took me like an insane amount of time. So I think I'm gonna leave it at this, since we know that this machine is working now. Again, I don't know why I built this thing. I think I was just going down the line, right? And then trying to find a optimized way of making that. So I guess the next time we'll probably try to make optimized stackers and bent stackers. Maybe. Or maybe we'll actually just look at these, because I did unlock that thing and I don't know. This is crazy. Yeah, the next one, it looks like I have to utilize that color mixer that we got. And then the ones after that are utilizing the pins again. Ooh, this one's a white one. Interesting. I wonder how we're supposed to do that. And then this one's a white one stacked on top of a pinned item badge thing. We're gonna have to figure out a way to do that then. We'll probably, next episode, we'll try to find a little pocket of space that contains these colors and these objects. Just circles, whatever. I don't know what this thing is. And then the colors that we need for that. That'll be it for next time. Man, this was, God, my brain hurts, dude. My brain is like exploding right now. I gotta get off of this game. But thanks for watching. If you found a better way to do this, let me know. I feel like this is kind of the only way though, right? Okay, well, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. See you later.